Shalom, giving all praise to Yahweh Bashem Al-Shai, Bashem Rakakodah, Shalom to the 144,000 and rest of the elect out there, Shalom to you all. And I'm going to entitle this video, The End of the So-Called Black Man Will Be the End of the So-Called Black Woman, Stupid. So there's a video entitled, I watched up until about this point, and I said I had to actually hear the woman say, so I jumped the gun a little bit. So I got to come back and watch the rest of this video. Anyway, this is put up by GMS Watchman. Black women are now asking white men to get rid of black men, the worst women on the planet. Now, what these women don't understand is that if you get rid of all so-called black men, Israelite, when I say black, they're not talking about African men. They're talking about American black men, American black women, which are Israelites, are talking about American, so-called American black men. And if you were to get rid of them, that you would go too. You go right along with us. Because you're an Israelite, but you don't know you're Israelites. So you don't know what's going on. You don't know what the hell's going on. Anyway, I'm going to make this quick. I was going to put a couple of precepts together, but there's a couple of precepts that kind of came to my mind. So I'm not going to make no super long, go into no super long video. Just, whatever the Spirit tells me. This is what they don't understand. And then another thing, they don't accept the fact that they're Israelites. All them videos, when you go to the elder out of South Carolina, the elder Manetta Zakbar, he gets all these little shorts from TikTok on how certain Jake men comes against the Israelites, so-called Hebrew Israelites, or Hebrew Israelites. A lot of Jake women against the Hebrew Israelites, and so they don't accept the fact that they're Israelites. So they're not gonna make it any goddamn way. They're just gonna get taken out on this side. They're gonna get the chip, and they're gonna get taken out, and then gonna have to come back as newborn babies. You're gonna have to start all over again. So so them bucking up against this truth, they don't realize you're going against your own selves. Yahweh Shai told the Apostle Paul that he said, why do you kick against the pricks? Because Yahweh Shai was the Apostle Paul was destroying and arresting and killing his thing was to kill them all, because he was like a special agent for these wicked Israelites that were in a high up position. You have the Sanhedrin, you have the, matter of fact, you know what I'm gonna do? Let me do this. Let me do it this way. Where did the Apostle Paul get his authority to arrest Christians? The Apostle Paul, as Saul, received authority to arrest Christians from the Jewish high priest. So that's what I wanted in general. The ones that sat in Moses' seat, right? It said the source of authority. The authority came from the high priest in Jerusalem, acting on behalf of the Sanhedrin. Let's look up Sanhedrin. These were the guys that were instrumental in getting the Yahweh Shai put to death. Because Pontius Pilate said, there's nothing wrong with, let me do this in the Bible. In the Bible, the Sanhedrin was the Jewish high court and administrative council composed of priests, scribes, and elders. It played a prominent role in the New Testament, most notably in the trial and condemnation of Yahushua. Did not I say that? Because Pontius Pilate, the governor, said, I don't see nothing wrong with this guy. I'm ready to acquit him. But the people, the Israelites, those wicked Israelites oppressed him. You know, and he said, look, this all is out of my hands. I wash my hands of the whole matter. It's y'all. The Sanhedrin also features in the book of Acts, where it opposed and persecuted the apostles like Peter and Paul for preaching about Yahushua. Remember in Acts 5, Acts 5, starting from the 29th verse. You can read the whole chapter. A lot of us go right to the 29th, 30th verse, 31st verse, or whatever, down into the 38th verse. But you really got to read the whole chapter, because what they wanted them to shut their mouth about Yahushua, because they were bigging up the name Yahushua, which they were responsible for getting him put to death. So they didn't want to curse on them. But you're going to get a curse on you anyway. You're going to die here in the States. So let me do this. So the bottom line is this. If you, so-called black women, not all of y'all, but a lot of y'all, like I said, it's on these TikTok videos, that you can have a deep, dark hatred for, so the hell with you. Fuck you too. And have a nice day. So now, what you got to understand is, why did I say, if the so-called black man, the Israelite man, disappears, wiped out, rubbed out, you're also going to be rubbed out. Because in order to bring back a Hebrew Israelite seed, you have to have a Hebrew Israelite man. A woman can, if it's just Israelite women, after a while, the whole nation will be erased. And Esau ain't got no problem with that, you know? Now, if you might say, well, what about the Israelite woman? If you wake up to the fact you need an Israelite woman to bring an Israelite child. No, you do not. You can get any woman from any nation to bring back an Israelite child. So when you get concubines, and what was Gideon? Did not Gideon have give me an example, did not Gideon have a son by a concubine, a woman of another nation? Did not Israelite men have children from women of another nation? Moses' sons were Israelites from a woman from another nation. That didn't make them half Israel and half heathen. So what the hell are y'all talking about? So let me give y'all a couple of precepts. The first one that came to my mind, and then I'm going to go to First Chronicles. Chronicles, Greek, meaning time, meaning record, history, a record of the Israelites. So the first scripture is Numbers, if I'm not mistaken, Numbers, hadn't gone through this in a while. Numbers 1, okay, it says 18. Let's go to 18. Let's see what happens. And assembled, you know what I'm going to do? Do this. The census of Israel's warriors. So when you went out to battle, you had to know how many men you had. But you can't count Israel. You can't count the men, the women, the children. You can't have a census, but you can have a military census. You go out against another nation that has 20 Philistines that have 20,000, and you go out with 5,000, you're gonna have a hard way to go. So when King David said told Joab to do a census on Israel, he wanted to count the men, women, children, as well as the men that were in the military. You got to really read this whole chapter. 18 verse is a key verse, right? like right here. Now, Vocab Malone said, oh, and if you go to Revelation, I remember when he said it too. It was like it was yesterday. If you go to Revelation chapter 7, you read about the 12,000 out of each tribe. It's not talking about Israel. I believe that's the first time he said, he used the term, what was the term? It's supersessionism, but there's another term he used, which is replacement theology. So he's saying that the 144,000, 12,000 out of each tribe represent Christians from all different nations. It's not talking about the actual Israelites. And this is why he said that. He said it doesn't mention Ephraim. It mentions Joseph. So that proves, no, it does not. It says, anytime you use the word or the name Joseph after the fact, after Jacob's son was born and they had children, anytime the word Joseph come up, it's referring to the tribe of Ephraim. Here's a proof. Of the children of Joseph, or the sons of Joseph, namely of the children of Ephraim. Ephraim came out of Joseph. Manasseh came out of Joseph. So when you use the word Joseph from this point on, we know it's talking about Ephraim. So there's no such tribe as the tribe of Joseph. Go back to Revelation 7. And when it says the tribe of Joseph, we're still 12,000. It's talking about the tribe of Ephraim. It says of the children or the sons of Joseph, namely of the children of Ephraim, by their generations, after their families, by the house of their fathers, according to the number of the names, from 20 years old and upward, and that were able to go forth to war. Now you got Sakari used to teach this. I don't know if they're still teaching. You got Genesis saying, oh, a Hebrew Israelite a man doesn't become a man until he's 20 years old. No, it doesn't say that anywhere in the scriptures. It says you have to be 20 years. If you're 18 years old, you don't got to fight. 19, you don't got to fight. 20, you got to fight. If you have fear of fighting, you get exempt from that. And that's in the law. I don't want to fight. Okay, you don't have to fight. So like I said, Genesis and Sakari, they say, oh, you got to be 20 years old. No, you don't. You become a man when you're 12 years old. Read Luke, but you think Luke is a Greek. Read Luke 2, verse 42. Our Lord left his parents because he was of age. He was 12 years old. But then he wound up staying with him until he came of full age when he was 12. But his ministry wasn't set until he was 30. So he was ready to go on that mission, just like Jeremiah. Jeremiah had to go. So here you go. Now let's do this. Let's go to the 18th verse. And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month. What does that mean, the first day of the second month? That's talking about you had the Passover month before that. The first day of the second month. Let's say, to give you an idea, let's say April is the first month. Sometimes it's March, sometimes it's April, right? May would be the second month. We don't deal with April, May, June, July, and all that. We deal with first day, first month, second day, and so forth. And that wasn't on no Sunday or Saturday. It was the first day of the second month. When is the second month start? When a new moon appears. What does the new moon look like in the sky? It's the dark moon. And they declared their pedigree after their families by the house of their fathers, not their mothers, according to the number of the names, from 20 years old and upward, by their polls. Now, I want to look up the word pedigree. Then I want to look up the word poles. So when you say, I want all black men, kill all the black men, well, guess what? You're going to die too. You might stick around and have babies, but when you old and die, you ain't coming back. You might still have women that look like Israelites, but they're actually Edomites or women of the other nations. So that's a stupid statement that you made. Let me bring this down. This is sticking. Assembly, congregation, which means men. With the flock of my pastors, men. Second month, the first day of the second month. Not April and May and June, July. Declared, and they declared their pedigree. Let's look up their pedigree. Yalad, I already know what that means. It means boy. Where'd they come from? Where was they born at? Right? To bear, bring forth a child. It means boy. Or man-child. Man-child. The feminine would be Yalada, which is a female child. The Irish say lad. Hey, lad. So, because that was Hebrew. Okay, so pedigrees. So he said, my father's this, he's from the tribe of that. Okay. Declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers, not mothers, according to the number of the names from 20 years old and upward, and their poles. Let's look up the word pole. Let's see what the Hebrew word is for that. And the word is galag lath. Galag lath. Okay. Head, pole, skull, head, pole of census. When you do a sentence, a census is called a head count. In the military, what they do is a head count. So that word pole is a census to see how many men of Ephraim is going to fight. Okay, we got X amount of men of Ephraim that's going to fight in this war. We got an X amount of men of Judah, and so forth. Levi did not have to fight because they were the priests. And ultimately, the three warrior tribes was Reuben, Gad, and Manasseh. When you go to the list of all the wars that America fought in the country, they fought a whole bunch of wars, and they say they never lost. They lost a bunch of wars fighting Gad. They give you a list, and they said they fought against this particular tribe, and they lost. They fought against that particular tribe, and they lost. So they kept coming up, they kept coming up with zeros, losing battles. That's why they don't record that in history. Custer's last stand, that was a 0. Then eventually they got over them because what? A troop shall overcome them. Why? Because the Most High put the spirit on them, but he shall overcome at the last. They're going to get you on this side, and the world to come, Gad is going to get you. Gad, Reuben, Judah, Benjamin, all of them. All of them. And it will be I'm not going to say anything else. That first day, when we take this motherfucker down, when we gather you together, it's not going to be, I wouldn't want to be in your shoes. Let's just say that. So now let's go to First Chronicles. I didn't put the chapter, so it's obviously. So what is this? Genealogy from Adam. What does genealogy mean? Ology means the study of. Gene means the seed, or raza. Issachar says, Viva la raza. Viva la raza means long live the race. The word raza, gene goes back to the Latin word raza, which means seed. You can only bring back, an Israelite can bring back another Israelite if he's an Israelite from the word go. Whether it be an Edomite. Let's say an Israelite, Judite man slept with an Edomite woman, they have a son, that's a Judite. There's no half Judite, half. You got these guys talking about you a half breed if you're light skinned. There ain't no such thing as no half breeds. So as you read down, right, it said the sons of Japhet, the sons of Shem, so now where am I going to go? I mean, that's it. That's all I gotta say. Let me come back over here now. So you just being stupid. As soon as I can find it. Okay, let me see. Let me do this here. As soon as I can find it, I'll fire it back up. Okay, so we're going to play it. And you know what it is? It's anger because, you know, we're getting these women of the other nation. Everybody want to get with the Jake man. Everybody want to get, all these women want to get with the Jake man. They fantasize about getting with Jake men if they haven't gone with him already. And they ain't dealing with you Jake women. Because they're all your nasty attitude, you know. And they don't want you, period. And we don't need you. More importantly, we don't need you. So if you do happen to get a Jake man, consider yourself fortunate. 7 women shall take hold of 1 man. It's going to take place on this side.
It says, tell them to keep that same energy when they're in need of our protection. Anyway, let's move on.
So triggered when black women call black men, or should I say, when they tell black men that you must hate black women or you must hate your mom because they're dating outside their race. Because you will never hear, or I will say rarely at least, hear a black man speak about black women the way you hear these black women speak on black men that are supposedly dating white men or dating outside of their race. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it.
Perception, because like the goal of this conversation should be to like progress, right? Unless you're ladies that you don't want to fucking deal with men at all, then we should talk about.
We don't want to deal with black men at all.
I love all men and not black men. Just not black men.
Well, is there any women here who don't want to deal with men, period, or is it just black men, or is it a mixture?
It's just black men, and we actually want non-black men's help in these corrections that you speak of.
So what are the corrections that you're looking for specifically?
Force, because that's the only thing that's gonna work.
But I mean,
so you know, hey, I know that's not all Jake women, you know, but that's a lot of them. There's a lot of them out there, and that's that hatred, cause we the prize, and they see that. They see all these women flocking to Jake men, and they mad. And Jake men ain't showing them no attention.
What are you looking for black men to arrive at? A place of understanding of like, what do you want to see?
Well, we believe that there is no hope for them. That we don't believe in changing their minds. We don't. But I'm trying not to say what I really want to say because you're on stage, but. If they could not exist, hey, we wouldn't be mad at them.
You dummy, you dumbass, you dumb, you stupid person. The end of the so-called black man will be the end of you.
Now, before any of y'all get in y'all feelings about me stopping this video midway through, because y'all know I usually try to let them play through because there was always somebody bitching about that. I'm sorry. you're gonna have to excuse me this one time, because what black man that you know that dates outside of their race that says that they want to see black women unalive? What black man do you know that's dating outside of their race, dating overseas? Do you hear them speaking of black women as if they don't want them to ever exist? No, you don't. So I don't understand why the fuck black men get so much pushback when you got black women dating outside of their race speaking of black men like this. It's a bunch of bullshit. The hypocrisy is on 10, bro.
I think for me, I think I want the coddling culture to kind of stop. I think they get validated a little bit too much and they're not held accountable as much as white men, Hispanic men, Asian men. Like, the legal system works in their benefit a little bit more than they think it does. They're seen as the ultimate, like, most oppressed, and I think that coddling culture needs to stop and they need to be held accountable for their actions.
Because we live in white male patriarchy, white men set what's socially acceptable. So with you all setting what's socially acceptable, the degenerate behavior of black male culture needs to be checked, and there needs to be more, because we're no longer looking for accountability from them because they've proven that they...
I don't know what she means by black male culture. Because not every so-called black man are gangbangers and drug dealers. You know, some of them are athletes and go to college. So, you know, this old taking the brush and stroking with a broad brush is this is some bullshit.
Will not take accountability. We need the men who set the culture to make them take accountability by exacting some sort of consequence for perpetrating behaviors that are not socially acceptable, because you all create the socially acceptable behavior.
Shut up, bitch!
You got The Rock mad at you. That was when The Rock was a bad guy. They had to make him a good guy, because when he played the role of a bad guy, them Edomite women, they loved it when he came in there. They loved it. He became like a sex symbol to these Edomite women, so they had no choice but to make him a good guy.
What?
Anyway, I'm not even gonna, play the rest of the video. You can check it out in your own time. I just saw this comment here from Black Nationalism. This comment says, "Our worst enemies come from our own kind. These creatures are despicable. We are losing nothing by keeping them away from us." And he's absolutely right. That's why me personally, I deal with the other nations. All right, out here in New York, you know, brothers know that I deal with these Edomite women, and I get off on it anyway. Anyway, man, that's the end of this video. I'm out. Shalom.
So anyway, you can watch from the beginning. With that, I'm going to say shalom, on to the next.